The human mind is a whirlwind, constantly bombarded with thoughts. Some are purposeful and productive, while others are merely distractions, driven by our desires, fears, and anxieties. In the fast-paced world we live in, thinking too much often leads to confusion, overthinking, and an inability to act decisively. The Stoics were acutely aware of this tendency and believed that mental clarity is a direct path to strength. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, emphasized that we must not allow our minds to wander aimlessly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In essence, the Stoic understands that while we cannot control the external world, we have complete control over how we respond to it. Thus, by thinking less, we can free ourselves from unnecessary mental clutter. Mental discipline is key here. Instead of endlessly analyzing situations or dwelling on things beyond our control, we can direct our focus on what truly matters. This practice of thinking less doesn't mean abandoning critical thinking or mindfulness. Rather, it means letting go of excessive rumination. A Stoic approaches life with clarity and purpose, not cluttered by irrelevant thoughts. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, writes, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Here, he reminds us that the quality of our thoughts is of utmost importance. If we think less, focusing only on what is necessary, we can filter out distractions and develop stronger, more disciplined thinking. By curating the thoughts we entertain, we empower ourselves to make better decisions and maintain inner peace. The power of silence in a society that often values eloquent speech and constant chatter. The Stoics understood the immense power of silence. Talking less is not about being silent out of fear or insecurity, but rather about cultivating a sense of restraint and reflection. For the Stoic, words are a tool, not a means of self-expression or validation. The ancient philosopher Socrates once said, "I know that I am intelligent because I know that I know nothing." This humility is reflected in the Stoic approach to speech. Before speaking, the Stoic asks, "Is this necessary? Is it true? Will it add value?" Words, once spoken, cannot be taken back, and so the Stoic chooses to speak with intention, using words only to improve situations, not to inflate the ego or seek validation. Talking less is a means of conserving energy. As the philosopher Seneca puts it, the wise man is always the one who speaks less. Every conversation is an opportunity to reflect, learn, and understand. By talking less, we open the door to deeper listening and richer experiences. The power of silence is also rooted in the idea of self-control. Stoics believe that mastery over one's actions and impulses is essential to strength. When we speak without thinking, we lose control over our emotions and allow ourselves to be swept away by impulses. Speaking less forces us to be more deliberate. In our actions, keeping our emotions in check, by embracing silence, we foster a sense of patience and wisdom. We allow ourselves the space to think before acting, avoiding the rashness and impulsivity that often lead to regret. A Stoic speaks only when necessary, and when they do speak, their words carry weight and purpose. The art of living with purpose in a world full of distractions. Focusing on what truly matters is one of the hardest yet most powerful practices. 1. Adopt. The Stoics understood that in order to achieve inner peace and strength, we must center our attention on the things within our control and let go of the rest. The Stoics teach us that our energy is finite, and where we place it determines our destiny. If we scatter our attention across countless distractions, we weaken ourselves. In contrast, when we focus on the present moment, our work, and our relationships, we build strength. Seneca wrote, "A man who has committed a wrong should not think of making amends but should simply dedicate himself to doing better in the future." This quote speaks to the power of focusing on actions rather than regrets or idle contemplation. By focusing more, we commit to a life of purpose, integrity, and progress. Achieving true focus requires practice. It is not a skill that comes naturally in a world of constant noise and distractions. However, through consistent effort and discipline, we can cultivate the ability to focus on what is truly important. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, teaches us to focus on our duties, our character, and our values. Every day presents a new opportunity to sharpen our focus, to avoid distractions, and to direct our attention towards what matters most. This practice of focused living builds mental resilience. It strengthens our ability to face adversity without being thrown off course by external events. The more we practice focused attention, the more we align ourselves with our higher purpose, developing the inner strength needed to navigate life's challenges. Now that we have explored the core principles of thinking less, talking less, and focusing more, it is important to consider how we can integrate these Stoic practices into our daily lives. One of the most powerful tools in Stoic philosophy is daily reflection. By setting aside time each day to reflect on our thoughts, speech, and actions, we become more aware of where we are wasting energy or indulging in unnecessary distractions. This practice helps us refine our ability to think less, talk less, and focus more. The Stoics teach us to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. By focusing our energy only on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, we free ourselves from unnecessary mental clutter. This understanding allows us to conserve mental energy and direct it toward meaningful pursuits. Incorporating mindfulness practices such as meditation into our daily routine can greatly enhance our ability to focus. The Stoics themselves engaged in practices of self-examination and mindfulness to cultivate clarity and inner strength. By observing our thoughts without judgment and learning to detach from them, we develop greater control over our mental landscape. True strength, according to Stoic philosophy, is not a measure of physical prowess or verbal dominance, but a measure of self-control, focus, and inner peace. By thinking less, talking less, and focusing more, we align ourselves with the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, tapping into a source of strength that is unshakable and enduring. This journey requires discipline and practice. It demands that we let go of distractions, cultivate restraint in our speech, and direct our energy toward what truly matters. But the rewards are profound. In the stillness of a focused mind, we discover the strength to face life's challenges with clarity and purpose. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the Stoic pathopath of thinking less, talking less, and focusing more. And it is on this path that true strength begins.